Unclejona here, and welcome back for another beer review. It's you and me all the way with beers from around the country and around the world. And this one is a beer from Kent. It's forming part of a series of beers I've done when I went over to Canterbury. And this one's from Gadds in Ramsgate. It's called Green Hop Ale. Had to double check that one. We're looking at 4.8%. Bottle conditioned ale. Look at that label, it's pretty good, isn't it? And Gadds Brewery, as I say, is in Ramsgate, CT10. And it's made with East Kent Goldings, which is a hop I have got an affinity to because I've used it in a beer of my own recently. Check that one out on my channel. If you haven't done already, click subscribe to my channel. More inane rantings and good beer reviews for everyone. And this has got a little thing on the back. It says, "This is a fresh beer. Drink it now." It says, "Early in September in Kent, it's a special time of year, for it's then when the hops are ripe and ready to harvest. Traditionally, they're picked, dried and pressed into bales to preserve them for use throughout the rest of the year. Here at Gadds, we like fresh hops, and since we enjoy the privilege of brewing less than 7 miles from the hop grower," guy's name's Humphrey. They've even named the fucker. So Humphrey, nice one, dude. It says, "We take advantage of raiding his hop bins once a year during harvest and returning with great sackfuls of fresh, green, undried hops so we can brew with them the same day. The result is a super fresh tasting hoppy ale showing off the finest East Kent Goldings hops at their very best. Local is fresh and tasty." You can't argue with that fucking shit now, can you? Now, check out that bottle top because we've got a good one. Looks like a Ramsgate. See what I'm saying? And this is a bottle conditioned ale, but I've had it sitting for a while, so hopefully it won't fizz too much, which it hasn't done. Oh, I thought that came off then. There we go. A few bubbles in the bottle, but nothing major. Oh, and that smells gorgeous. Traditional pint glass. Let's go for a pour. We're going to go for a semi-aggressive. See what we get, just to mix the carbon dioxide up a bit. Reason for that is getting ahead, but the reason also is to get those lovely aromas to come to the fore. Bottle conditioned, so I'm going to finish it there. Leave a tiny bit in the bottom of the bottle, and look at that. Not super clear because it's bottle conditioned, but that is pretty clear. You're not going to get much better than that, let me tell you. Finger head, which is good. The carbonation is quite lazy. It's a lazy, hazy day and a lazy, hazy beer. One that I quite like. Get the old nose in, and we are getting the Goldings hops coming. Oh, I wish you could be here. East Kent Goldings hops. Slightly different from Styrian Goldings, but East Kent Goldings, very traditional British hop, and people use it, they crossbreed with it. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And it's one of those hops that you can use for bittering, aroma and taste. You can use it all throughout. So this hop is very good for smash beers, if you know what I'm saying. Don't want to give the game away. Right, let's dive in there. Quite sweet up front, so we're getting a little residual hop, a little residual malt even, then straight into the hops with that bitterness. Boom! Not quite IPA bitterness, but not far off. And then we're tailing out with the sort of grassy notes that you can get from East Kent Goldings. With this type of beer, as with the Shepherd Neame beers, you're looking to get a balance between the bitterness of the hops and the sweetness, or the residual sweetness, of the malts, because after all, the sugars from the malts turn into the alcohol in your beer, but you want a little bit left over, because you don't just want a pure dry alcoholic taste. You need something to balance against the bitterness of the hops, and this is a very fine art. Do beg your pardon. We do have carbonation here. It's quite lazy, but it is there. In Shepherd Neame, another obviously Kent brewery, which use East Kent Goldings, that's why I'm talking about them. They tend to lie a little bit on the sweet side. This beer, Gadds, I think is slightly opposite. We're lying slightly on the drier side, slightly in the hoppier side. So we're getting less residual sweetness, but we're getting a little bit more bitterness in the taste. That said, you are getting a little bit of sweetness up front, but it quickly turns into that hoppiness. And it's a very dry finish. This one is at room temperature, but if you chilled these down, I suspect that would tame to a certain degree the level of hoppiness, the level of bitter taste. So it would be more like a sort of lagery dryness. But as it is, it's a tiny bit too bitter, tiny bit too IPA-like. However, if you like such beers, this one's definitely one to try. As I say, it's fine lines. There's nothing dark and sinister here. And it's got a green man, that's brilliant. Green hop ale, that label is very, very good. See the green man on there? I like it. And that green label very much describes the greenness of the hops in this beer. It's almost like a wild hop beer, you know, that kind of style. And that makes sense when you're considering that the hops they're using are green hops and not dried hops. Just add something different to this kind of ale. What more can I say? Gadds, what's it called? Green hop ale, bottle conditioned. Green hop ale. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I can't. Go out, try and find it, see what you think. If you like IPAs, I think this is definitely one to try. Anyway, guys, it's been Uncle Joan here. Hopefully you'll join me with another beer review real soon. And until then, drink some beer, guys. Drink some sweet, sweet beer.